Good morning, students. This is my lecture number 1 for class 12th, subject English, for the chapter Journey to the End of the Earth, which is your chapter number 3 in your book Vistas. This chapter, Journey to the End of the Earth, is written by Tishani Doshi. Let's begin the chapter. This chapter is a travelogue. In this chapter, Tishani Doshi gives us an account of her journey to the coldest, driest, and windiest continent in the world, that is Antarctica. In this, the narrator gives us an account of her journey under the program Students on Ice, which was led by Geoff Green, and the aim of this program was to introduce the high school students with the present, past, and future of the world. This program provides the students an ample opportunity to understand how global temperature can be a big threat to human existence. It inculcates a new understanding in them. Geoff Green thinks that the high school students are the future policy makers. Therefore, he took the students on this Students on Ice program in order to make them aware about the present, past, and future of the world and the changes which are occurring and are the biggest cause of the ruin of this world. Let's proceed to the beginning of their journey. The author Tishani Doshi started her journey in a Russian research vessel which was named Academic Chokalsky, and this was bound for Antarctica. Her journey began 13.09 degrees north of the equator in Madras, and she travelled over 100 hours in combination of car, aeroplane, and ship before she set foot on the Antarctic continent. The main purpose of this journey was to take the children to the Antarctic continent in order to introduce them to the past, present, and future of the world. After traveling around 100 hours, they reached their final destination, and after reaching there, they got to know that 650 million years ago, a giant southern supercontinent Gondwana did indeed exist. They got to know it was centered around present-day Antarctica, and that was the best place to know about the past, present, and future of this world. She wondered how there could have been a time when India and Antarctica were part of the same landmass. Geological phenomena help us to know about the history of humankind. 650 million years ago, this giant southern supercontinent Gondwana did exist, and the climate was much warmer then, and there were a variety of flora and fauna. Humans had not arrived on the global scene yet. Gondwana thrived for 500 million years. Then came the time when the dinosaurs were wiped out and the age of mammals began. At that time, the landmass was forced to separate into countries, shaping the globe much as we know it today. Now, I'll tell you the purpose of the author's visit. The purpose of the visit was to know more about Antarctica. The author stayed there for 2 weeks and got to know it is a place which stores 90% of the Earth's total ice volumes. It has no trees, billboards, or buildings. The author went there to study ozone and carbon, their evolution and extinction. And the purpose was to show the high school students that the real condition of this earth is very poor, and the future nation builders need to protect the earth before it is totally ruined. And there it was taught that Antarctica has a simple ecosystem and lacks of biodiversity. It is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. Repercussions means changes. Even scientists warn that a future depletion of the ozone layer will affect the lives of the sea animals and birds of the region. It will also affect the global carbon cycle. Therefore, the purpose of his visit was to take these children and introduce them with the present condition of the earth so that they can take necessary steps to protect it to be enjoyed by the future generation. The author shares her wonderful experience of walking there. She tells that there was a team of 52 persons went together on this Students on Ice program. All the 52 persons on board put on breathable waterproof clothing and sunglasses. They climbed down the gangplank and walked on the ocean. They were walking on a meter thick ice pack. Under the ice pack, there was 180 meters of living, breathing salt water. Seals were enjoying themselves in the sun and ice. The narrator was wondering about the beauty of the place, and she wished that it would become a warm place again as it used to be millions of years ago. If it happens, the results can be catastrophic. The author Tishani Doshi tells us about humans' impact. Human civilizations have been around for a paltry, means very small, 12,000 years, barely a few seconds on the geological clock. In that short amount of time, we have managed to create quite a ruckus, etching our dominance over nature with our villages, towns, cities, and in fact megacities. The rapid increase of human populations has left us battling with other species for limited resources, and the unmitigated burning of fossil fuel has now created a blanket of carbon dioxide around the world, which is slowly but surely increasing the average global temperature. This climatic change is one of the most hotly contested environmental debates of our time. It raises many questions for humans to think over, to have debate over. Questions like, will the West Antarctic ice sheet melt entirely? Will the Gulf Stream ocean current be disrupted? Will it be the end of the world as we know it? The answers may be yes, maybe not. Either way, Antarctica is a crucial element in this debate, not just because it is the only place in the world which has never sustained a human population and therefore remains relatively pristine in this respect, but more importantly, because it holds in its ice cores 500,000 years old carbon records trapped in its layers of ice. If we want to study and examine the Earth's past, present, and future, then Antarctica is the place to go. Here, the author tells these young generation or the young children that if you really want this Earth to survive for future generation, then it is the most important need of the hour to start working and start taking the protective measures. At last, I'll let you know the purpose of Students on Ice program. Students on Ice. On this program, the author was working with on Shokalski that aims to do exactly by taking these high school students to the end of the world and providing them with inspiring educational opportunities which will help them foster a new understanding and respect for our planet. It's been in operation for 6 years now, headed by Canadian Geoff Green, who got retired of karting celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers who could only give back in a limited way. With students on ice, he offers the future generation of policy makers a life changing experience at an age when they are ready to absorb, learn, and most importantly, act. The reason the program has been so successful is because it's impossible to go anywhere near the South Pole and not be affected by it. It's easy to be blase about polar ice caps melting while sitting in the comfort zone of our respective latitude and longitude, but when you can visibly see glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing, you begin to realize that the threat of global warming is really very, very fast. And Antarctica, because of her simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big results. Therefore, the author wants these young children to understand the present condition of our planet where the life is possible. And she tries her best to inculcate a new understanding among these future policy makers so that these children must take the responsibility on their shoulders to protect this planet before it is entirely ruined. And she motivates the children to keep a thought in their mind that always utilize the resources by keeping this thought in your mind that we have not got this land from our forefathers to enjoy it to the most. This is not an inherited land or the inherited resources, but we have borrowed it from future generation to give them back as we have already got it from our own forefathers. So with this thought, the author wants these children to be motivated to cure or to take all possible steps to cure this earth, so that this must be a heaven for the future generation. We must limit the use of resources so that our future generation must not curse us for wasting all the resources which are present on this land. Therefore, it is our duty to protect or to keep them safe for the better use of our future generation. This is the biggest asset that we can hand over to our future generation to enjoy their life as we are enjoying it on this planet Earth. So, Tishani Doshi ends this journey to the end of the earth by motivating the students who are the future policy makers, by motivating them that it is your planet and it is your foremost responsibility to protect it properly, not only for your survival but to make the survival possible for all other species on this earth and for your own future generation. Thank you, students. Now I will assign you homework. You all are supposed to read this chapter entirely from your book from page number 18 to 22. You people are supposed to understand it by reading it from there, and you are supposed to underline all the difficult words present there and write their meanings from dictionary. Thank you.